Have you ever wondered why fluoride is considered one of the most important agents for preventing the dental caries? And more importantly, does fluoride only make the enamel stronger or does it also act on the bacteria? So if you want to understand the complete mechanism of action of fluoride, so stay with me till the end of this lecture. So hello everyone, welcome back to Exam Key Point Dentistry. In today's video, we are going to understand mechanism of action of fluoride in a very simple and exam-oriented way. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to explain the 5 major mechanisms of fluoride. So let's begin. So, the mechanism by which fluoride increase the resistance to the dental caries can occur through both, that is the systemic application and the topical application of fluoride. So here the important mechanism are, first one is increase the enamel resistance or reduction in enamel solubility. Second one is increase the rate of the post-eruptive maturation. Third one is remineralization of the incipient lesion. Fourth one is interference with the plaque microorganism, and fifth one is modification in tooth morphology. So let's understand each one step by step. So first one is increase enamel resistance or reduction in enamel solubility. So first let's understand the basic process of the dental caries. So dental caries involve the dissolution of the enamel by the acid which is produced from the bacterial plaque. In simple word, bacteria plus fermental carbohydrate they produce acid, and then acid comes in contact with enamel, they cause the dental caries. Okay, so question for you, if bacteria produce acid, so what does this acid attack first? Yes, that is the mineral component of the enamel. Okay, so definition of dental caries is an infection disease which is caused by the complex interaction of the cariogenic bacteria with the carbohydrates on the tooth over the time. Okay, so this is the definition of dental caries. You should know because sometimes the examiner can ask in viva. Okay, now see, there is a bacterial enzyme plus fermental carbohydrate, they produce acid. Acid plus enamel, they form dental caries. Okay, so here our enamel is mainly composed of a mineral called hydroxyapatite. So hydroxyapatites contain only the calcium and the phosphate ions in normal condition. So normally there is a stable equilibrium between the calcium and the phosphate ions, okay, in saliva and the enamel. But what happens when bacteria produce acid? So here the plaque pH fall when pH will be dropped. Okay, so when the pH will fall below the critical level of the approximately 5.5, dissolution of the tooth mineral occurs, and this process is called demineralization. Okay, so in simple language, imagine tooth as a strong wall which is made up of a mineral blocks. So when acid attack the wall, some of these blocks start coming out, and that is basically what happens during the demineralization. Okay, so how does fluoride help? So now comes the important part. Here fluoride react with the hydroxyapatite and then they will forming the fluorohydroxyapatite. So fluoride can substitute for hydroxyl ion in the crystal structure, and this produce a more stable crystal structure. Okay, so this result in increase in H plus bonding and more dense crystal lattice and overall decreasing the solubility. Therefore, the enamel become less soluble and more resistant to the acid attack. Okay. So here the exam question is, what happens when fluoride interact with the hydroxyapatite? So your answer will be, there is formation of the fluorohydroxyapatite which is less soluble and more resistant to the acid attack. Okay. Okay, so this is a diagram. So now look at this diagram. On one side we have the hydroxyapatite and on the other you have the fluoroapatite. So here the important point is the fluoroapatite is less soluble even under the acidic condition. Therefore, the fluoride reduces the susceptibility of the enamel to the acid dissolution. Okay, so here the hydroxyapatite, They forming the fluoroapatite, which is the less soluble even under the acidic condition, and also resistance to the demineralization. Okay. Now, as fluoride form the fluoroapatite, which is less soluble mineral, it has been thought that anti-Caries effect of fluoride is a result of the reduced solubility. And this is all you should know about. Okay. Now, there are three ways fluoride which inhibit the demineralization. So, first one is by reducing the bacterial acid production. So, here the fluoride act on the bacterial metabolism and then decreasing the acid production. Now, the second one is by reducing the solubility. So, here the fluoride converts the enamel mineral into the less soluble form, and that's so in that way it will reducing the solubility. Third one is by reducing the dissolution rate. So even when acid is present, fluoride can slow down the rate at which enamel mineral dissolve. Okay. So here the easy memory trick is, remember, here the acid production is decrease, solubility is decrease, and dissolution rate is decrease, and therefore the demineralization is decrease. Okay. Now we see the second mechanism, that is the increased rate of the post-erupted maturation. So question for you, are newly erupted teeth equally resistant to the caries as the mature tooth? The answer is no. Newly erupted teeth contain areas that are relatively hypomineralized and are more susceptible to the dental caries. So it explained that the enamel surface has maximum susceptibility to caries where it first appears in the mouth. So what does fluoride do? So here the fluoride increase the rate of the mineralization of these hypomineralized area, and this process is called post-erupted maturation. Okay. So the greatest importance of fluoride to the maturation process lie in its ability to increase the rate of mineralization of hypomineralized area, and newly erupted teeth often have hypomineralized area that are prone to the dental caries. So in addition, entire enamel surface is at the maximum degree of susceptibility to caries as soon as it appears in the mouth. So fluoride increases the rate of mineralization or post-erupted maturation of these areas. Okay, so this is called the post-erupted maturation. So this is all you should know, the flow chart. So here the minerals ions which are present in mineral plus organic matter, they forming the less soluble tooth, and then therefore it will lead into less resistance to the acid attack and then less prone to caries. So after the tooth eruption, fluoride helps the enamel undergo faster maturation. Okay. So simple example is like, think about a newly constructed building. It may not be completely strong immediately, but with time it becomes stronger. Similarly, newly erupted enamel undergo maturation after entering the oral cavity, and here the fluoride helps speed up this process. Okay. Now, the third mechanism is remineralization of the incipient lesion. So, question for you, what is an incipient caries lesion? So, an incipient lesion is an early stage of the dental caries and it appears clinically as a white spot lesion. Okay. So, we see there it is a flow chart. So, here also the fluoride play a critical role in reducing the dental caries by enhancing the remineralization, and it is a dynamic process. It reducing the enamel solubility and then increase the enamel resistance through the growth of the crystals. Okay. So first let me see what is an incipient lesion. That is a definition. So here an incipient lesion is the early stage of the dental caries. It appears as a white spot on the enamel, and at this stage the enamel has lost mineral but there is no cavity. So the process is still reversible. Okay. So this is extremely important clinically. Okay. So let's understand how the fluoride is helped. So here the acid which is produced by the plaque bacteria, they will removing the calcium and the phosphate from the enamel, that we call as a demineralization. So what is demineralization? Demineralization is when acid is removing the calcium and the phosphate ion from the enamel. Okay. And when fluoride is present in saliva, it attracts the calcium and the phosphate ions back into the damaged enamel, and this is known as remineralization. Okay. So these minerals are deposited into the enamel crystal, and the repair enamel become less soluble, more acid resistant and stronger than the before. So fluoride also increase the crystal growth and reducing the enamel solubility. So this is how the fluoride will be helped. Okay. So this is the diagram. So you can see this is a demineralization area. So here the plaque bacteria, they will producing the acid, and this acid causing the phosphate ion and calcium ions to remove from the enamel. So they are removing. But on the right side you can see this is a remineralization where the fluoride helping in phosphate and the calcium ions to attract. So they are attracting, they are come back to the tooth, and therefore it will making the more strong and acid resistance enamel. Okay. So this is how fluoride will be helped. So composition of the remineralization enamel is different from the normal enamel. Okay. So for example, like imagine a wall with a few bricks missing. If we place those missing bricks before the wall collapse completely, the wall can be repaired. Similarly, when an early Caries lesion has lost minerals but has not formed a cavity, minerals can be redeposited, and that is known as remineralization. Okay. So this is a simple flow chart you can remember easily in exam. So when there is a bacteria which is present in plaque, they will forming the acid. Acid production causing the demineralization, that is forming the white spot lesion. So when fluoride will be used, so they are attracting the calcium ion plus phosphate ion from the saliva and causing the remineralization, and therefore resulting in strong acid resistance enamel. Okay. Okay, next one is that is the interference with the plaque microorganism. So question for you, does fluoride only act on the tooth? The answer is no. Fluoride can also interfere with the mechanism of the plaque bacteria. So here the fluoride inhibit the bacterial enzymatic process which is involved in the carbohydrate metabolism, and they interfere with bacteria in two ways. So what are the two ways? So first one is when we use fluoride at a high concentration, so they will cause bactericidal, and when we use a low concentration, they will cause bacteriostatic. Okay. So here bactericidal means it can kill the bacteria, and bacteriostatic effect means it is inhibit the bacterial growth or the activity. Okay. So in vitro effect of fluoride on oral bacteria. So what the fluoride will do, on studies on the Staphylococcus, it showed the inhibition of the septal enzyme process, which is including like enolase, cations transferred involving potassium, and the bacterial phosphatase. So, but for understanding the dental caries, the most important one is the enolase. Okay. So, why is enolase important? Because enolase is an enzyme which is involved in the glycolysis, and glycolysis is the pathway by which bacteria metabolize the carbohydrate. So, if fluoride inhibit the enolase, so here the enolase inhibition causing the carbohydrate metabolism decrease. Further, it will cause the glycolysis decrease, and then it will resulting into acid production will decrease. When acid production will decrease, so there is less fall in pH plaque, and then when there is less fall in pH plaque, then there is less enamel demineralization. So this is one of the most important flow chart. Okay. So the most important one for understanding caries is like enolase. So why is enolase important? Because it is an enzyme which is involved in glycolysis, which is in pathway by which bacteria metabolite the carbohydrate. So this is flowchart you should remember. So when fluoride is used, so it inhibits the bacterial enzymes such as enolase. So causing the carbohydrate metabolism decrease, which is further leading to glycolysis decrease. So there is acid production decrease, resulting into less fall in plaque pH, and then there is less enamel demineralization. Okay. This is an easy way to remember. I also giving a one clinical example, like suppose a child which is frequently consumes sugary food. Bacteria in dental plaque metabolites these carbohydrates and produce acid. These acid lower plaque pH and promote the enamel demineralization, and fluoride interfere with bacterial carbohydrate metabolism and therefore reduce the acid production. So fluoride does not just protect the tooth directly, it can also make the bacterial environment less damaging to the enamel. Okay. I hope now you understand. Okay. Now the last one is modification in tooth morphology. So now we come to our final mechanism. So it states that the teeth which develop under the influence of the fluoride have been reported to possess a certain morphological characteristic. So these include like shallow fissure, less steep cuspal incline, and the third one is rounded cusp. So imagine the two occlusal surface. One has deep and narrow fissure, and where deep and narrow fissure is present, food and plaque can easily get trapped inside them. So this is a deep and the narrow fissure. So here the food and the plaque can easily trap. And the another has the shallow fissure. So there is less depth for the plaque and food retention. So according to this, fluoride influence during the tooth development has been associated with the shallow fissure, less stable incline, cuspal incline, and the rounded cusp. So these morphological changes can contribute to the reduced caries susceptibility. Okay. So this is all about the mechanism. Now the complete revision. So now let's quickly revise all 5 mechanisms. So mechanism 1 is that is the increase enamel resistance and reduce the enamel solubility. So here the fluoride makes the enamel mineral less soluble and more resistant to the acid. Second one is increase the rate of the post-erupted maturation. So here the fluoride increase mineralization of the newly erupted hypomineralized enamel. Mechanism 3, that is the remineralization of the incipient lesion. So here the fluoride promote redeposition of the calcium and the phosphate into the early enamel lesion. Mechanism 4, that is the interference with the plaque microorganism. So here the fluoride inhibit the bacterial enzyme, especially the enolase, which is reducing the acid production. Now the last mechanism, that is a modification of the tooth morphology. So here the fluoride associated tooth development may produce shallow fissure, less steep cuspal incline, and the rounded cusp. Okay. So if the examiner asks, that is explain the mechanism of the action of fluoride. So start with fluoride increase resistance to the dental caries through this sapling mechanism, and then write to all 5. Okay. So let's check how much you remember. So question number 1, what is the approximate critical pH which is mentioned in this? That is the 5.5. What is the earliest visible stage of the dental caries? That is the white spot lesion or the incipient lesion. Now question number 3, which important bacterial enzyme is inhibited by fluoride? That is the enolase. Now enolase is involved in which pathway? The answer is glycolysis. Now question number 5, what happens to the bacterial acid production when fluoride inhibits the carbohydrate metabolism? The answer is acid production will decrease. Now question number 6, name 3 morphological changes which is mentioned in this. That is the shallow fissure, less steep cuspal incline, and the rounded cusp. So I hope now you understand all this. So if you remember these 5 mechanisms and understand their flow chart, you can easily answer a short note or a long answer question on mechanism of the action of fluoride in your BDS examination. And then don't forget to like, subscribe and share with your BDS friend. And for more exam oriented dentistry lecture, then stay connected with Exam Key Point Dentistry. Thank you for the watching. Until then, keep learning, keep revising and keep smiling.